Me, I have been to quite a lot of parties, including birthday parties, but I've never been to a birthday party like this one before. Project X is a new film from the line of the whole found footage genre. The probably most successful one this year, as I know, is between Chronicle and I think like the Devil Inside, apparently. But this one is kind of more of the sort of the comedy side, the fun side sort of it, and it's kind of like what happens if they'd met the team from Superbad along the sort of ride, if they had sort of cameras and whatnot. So is the film any good? Let's find out. The plot of the story is just actually one very simple plot. It's these three kids, one of them is it's their birthdays, they decide to throw one hell of a party, and everyone comes in, and then as the party goes on, chaos breaks out, and we all know what's going to happen. It's a simple story plot, nothing new, nothing extravagant. What's the good about this film? Actually, there's quite a couple of things. First off, the acting is pretty okay. Like, it's not the best acting in the world, but you will kind of like get over it. I like the fact that you see how the party develops through time. So, you know, it starts off, you know, small, and then it just builds up and builds up, builds up. And I thought like everything about the chemistry between the characters, like, you know that one of them's really worried about the party failing, and the other one just wants the party to succeed because he just wants to be like sort of popular. This is I think the main character's friend who sort of organises the whole thing. And one of the most interesting point is you do get to see it through some other points of view, and then they do use other sort of cameras along the way. The bad about the film is actually the film's way too predictable. Like, you know what's going to happen like as soon as someone says party at an empty. You know, obviously it's too predictable, this film. Like I say, some of the acting is like okay, but there's one guy, and it's sort of the main character's friend. I think it's Costa, his name is. I find him a really bit tad annoying, and sometimes I think he was really overacting as much. Through the film, I thought he was reminding me of Jonah Hill, like from Superbad, but he was just being 10 times more annoying. And throughout the time, you know, everything's spiraling out of control. You know, I would have personally stopped the party, but he said, no, let's keep going, keep going. So obviously he had no control of the party himself. And there are sometimes, at times, it drags quite a little bit. Like, it really starts off a bit, you know, not as interesting, and it just seems to pick up. It gets good at certain points, and then it just kind of drops, and then it goes up and down with the whole like try and keep yourself entertained. But what's actually ugly about this film? There's really just two things I can get at. Firstly, you've seen this film before. If you've seen Superbad, you know, everything happens like in a kind of like one day, and then it's just at the end there's just 5-10 minutes of what's happened, you know, after the whole like party kind of thing. But but this is something, it's nothing new, nothing exciting. The film is only 90 minutes long, so it's like, but I wouldn't go and rush out to go and see it for what it is. And secondly, I've got to really call bullshit here on the whole found footage, because the guy who had the camera, right, a little spoiler, but he stayed drunk. No, he stayed absolute sober throughout the whole film. He even said that he doesn't drink. So how the hell did he manage to say his composure? In fact, you don't even hear him speak, and sometimes this is what I think, it's just a camera like that's just in the room. It's also the same thing that I felt about Chronicle, was it had a really good concept with the camera and the things it was doing, but near enough the end it kind of just like ruined it by shoving so much cameras around, and you kind of felt the film was losing its identity. And again, this did as well. It started to lose its identity as soon as it got really busy. and I was thinking like, there's no way this guy is even filming it. Like, it must be some other guy. And you don't really hear him speak. You don't really see him in his face. Like, you only see a real good glimpse at him once. Now it's time for the score, and I actually will give this a good rating. I believe I would say, right, it's better than Chronicle because it's more fun, but I wouldn't rush out to go and see it again. I'd go and see, I think if you're going out with your mates, it's one of those films you would definitely go and see. It's not made for everyone, but I'm pretty sure you'll have one friend that will totally love this film to end, and you know, it does what it does. So upon that note, I will see you guys next time.